Hi. Unfortunately, it's a rather sad day in the content creation community because it's the end of LBRY Inc, LBRY Incorporated. They just posted this a few hours ago, and this will be their last post. If you're not aware, I've been on LBRY. I'm one of the founding members. In fact, they recognize me as one of the founding members. Got a certificate and everything. As a founding member of the LBRY platform, an open source blockchain-based platform where I've put my content, and here's my LBRY channel. There it is. It's still there. It's still going to be there, which is an interesting part of this. So we'll go through it. But yeah, I've got 71,000 followers on LBRY, which is now, everyone knows it as Odysee. But LBRY Inc is the company that founded the protocol, the open source protocol, and the LBC blockchain, which is, part of that. But you didn't have to know anything about crypto or LBC to actually use the LBRY or Odysee system. That was just like the underlying thing that was all based on, and it was all open source, and it was beautiful. And I've been there, almost since day one. In fact, if we look at Odysee monthly usage here, we can actually see, right? So here we are in 2023. I joined back in October 2017 when there were only 2,700 active video sessions across the entire platform. That's why I grew to be, because I was on there for so long and I was promoting it for so many years, still am. So that's how I grew to 71,000 followers, because I've just been there for so long. I've been slowly picking up our subscribers and a big audience over there on LBRY/Odysee. And I was one of the not only founding member of the LBRY system, one of the very early members, but I also helped in a little way to develop the Odysee platform as well. I was involved in the early part of that, shaping that, and also getting a lot of creators, especially the electronics creators that that are on the Odysee platform. I encourage most of those to actually come over, and also some of the science and space YouTubers that you can find on there as well. So Odysee/LBRY actually became known as sort of like the YouTube alternative for electronics, engineering, science type, science-related, tech-related channels, as opposed to the other platforms like BitChute and Rumble and, other ones like that, which really have no electronics or engineering or science content at all. It's all politics and whatnot. But Odysee/LBRY was really the place to be. In fact, the #1 channel on LBRY/Odysee is still Derek from Veritasium. So that speaks volumes. Anyway, yeah, I've been going since 2017, but let's read LBRY's last final post, and hopefully this will make sense. Odysee's not going anywhere. LBRY's technically not going anywhere, the LBRY protocol, because it's open source. It can't. It's open source. You, viewing this right now, if you've got the skills, you can take that LBRY source code and boom, go for it. LBRY Inc. must die. There is no escaping this. It has lost a judgment to the federal government, who is the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission in the US, has several $1 million in debt and has pledged to shut down. This will be our last post. I won't go into all the details because it's complicated, but basically the Securities and Exchange Commission, they basically sued LBRY Inc. out of existence. So what happened? LBRY Inc. has debts to the Securities and Exchange Commission, its legal team, and a private debtor that it cannot pay. Its assets, including Odysee, are being placed into receivership. As of this post, all LBRY executives, employees, and board members have resigned, or all will be doing what is required to satisfy any outstanding legal requirements, but no more. Now, this is interesting because I thought, well, Odysee is legally a separate company. So Odysee technically still remains, but if it's an asset of LBRY Inc., who's now owned by the SEC, whether or not they'll just go, whatever, and just, wipe their hands of it, and then Odysee continues to operate, I don't know. Remains to be seen. So what's happening to the LBRY network? Fortunately, LBRY isn't our network. It's decentralized network, and the code powering it is open source. But LBRY network might die too. Decentralization isn't magic. It only works if enough people use it. Could LBRY still allow all digital publishing like we intended? Could this be the beginning of a descent to obscurity? Who knows? It's not like we're library experts. The truth is that even writing this post fills us with anxiety. Everything we say is being scrutinized by people with immense resources that aren't big fans of us, free speech, or any technology that enables dissent. And if we violate another one of the United States' incredibly clear and easy to follow laws, sarcasm much, we might end up in jail. However, we got into the game by being honest in the cryptocurrency space when few were. We then got into trouble for being so honest. It only makes sense to go out the same way. It's our nature. So hats off to LBRY Inc. For fighting this, but yeah, it was a dirty game, and I won't go into the details. It was just, suffice it to say, it was a ridiculous lawsuit. But hey, the SEC won. So what's happening to Odysee? Odysee, the flagship library app, continues to serve more than 6 million people each month, even while it is still being iced. Fantastic. CoinGecko rates Odysee as the most popular Web3 social media site in the world. And this is like really fascinating. Like it's, you know, Steam, it's the next one. I didn't think anyone used Steam it, do they? It's a Reddit alternative, is it? I don't know. Leave it in the comments down below. But Gab, heard of Gab, Mastodon. A few people fled to Mastodon when Elon bought Twitter. How's that going for you? Okay, there's Mastodon. There's Mirror. I don't know. DLive, I've technically heard of. Blue Sky. Minds, I've heard of. DTube, that went absolutely nowhere. Hive, never heard of it. Peak, Lens Domain, Community Snort, Connor, and Ecency, never heard of it. Anyway, but that's impressive, right? Odysee is the biggest decentralized social media platform out there, still is, even though effectively the SEC tried to, you know, destroy it. Odysee's popularity makes it the most valuable asset of LBRY Inc. While it's nearly certain that Odysee assets will be assumed by someone interested in resuming its growth. So it sounds like, you know, Odysee Inc. Or Odysee, the company, might get sold to someone. I don't know. There might be a savior out there who can, you know, snap it up for an absolute bargain. And I'm kind of looking at you, Futo. That would be a nice way to invest your money, I would suspect. It's a perfect match with Futo's charter. Futo is the arm of that Lewis Rossman. He actually works for Futo now, and they've just released an app which unifies, it's called GreyJ, that unifies all the different video platforms. I just joined it the other day. I just downloaded it and bought it the other day, and I'm still getting used to it. But anyway, I'll link in Lewis's video down below because it looks great. It's unclear if Odysee will continue to use the LBRY network in the future, switch to another crypto network, or switch to being a traditional Web 2 platform. For the network nerds and founders, a full log of our monthly and weekly Odysee, that's the data that I showed you here. When much of the crypto industry was burning money, we succeeded at building usable Web3 software that people actually wanted to use. Brilliant. Now, what happens to LBRY channels and content? Over 1.7 million identities and 30 million pieces of content have been published to the LBRY blockchain. As long as the LBRY blockchain continues to be mined, those identities and records will continue to exist. I've got 2 LBRY ASIC miners continually running, so I plan to still continue to run those to keep the LBRY network going. So how long that goes, it's up to the community, really. But it's important to know this bit. The content itself is not published on the blockchain. So when I upload my content to LBRY/Odysee, it's not actually stored, although Odysee is a bit different because they have their own servers, but it's not stored on the blockchain. The blockchain only just handles like the lower level type stuff, the indexing and sort of, you know, people can exchange and tip people and other stuff like that. But but the content is not stored on there. It's still stored on traditional servers. So if you use the LBRY desktop app like this, then you can actually set it up so you actually become a host node, and you get, like, the video can be stored on your local hard drive, and then you can seed it to other people. It's like a decentralized thing. You don't have to do that, but if you want to be part of the network, you can certainly do that. So yes, if Odysee chooses to stop utilizing LBRY, then content is not actively seeded by others. It will stop being available. So yeah, they just mentioned there that if people stop seeding it, and if the Odysee servers go the way of the dodo for some reason, then yeah, the content will stop if nobody's seeding it. But the network will still be there. Like, you can still download it in 10 years' time and try and find the data, and it could just flourish up. Even if it's completely dead, it could flourish up again at any point. Can Odysee switch from LBRY? Maybe, maybe not. It's unclear whether Odysee has permission to port content that was published from LBRY to somewhere else. That's, I guess, content from creators like me. I hereby give you permission as one of the big creators on the platform to use whatever underlying tech that you deem is suitable. But technically, they didn't get creators' permissions to do that, so I don't know. I don't think any creator who actively put their content on Odysee/LBRY is going to care about that technical detail. Anyway, they promised that they always would as long as it was legal to do so, but we're feeling pretty done with legal fights and we'd rather see our friends at Odysee continue to do productive work supporting free speech. Ultimately, this will be decided by users, not by us, and we're encouraging users to wait and see. Is the LBRY token still a security? Because that's what the lawsuit was all about. They accused LBRY Inc, the company, of dealing in unlicensed securities. And it's complete and utter bullshit. But that's what they got them on. And that's what they successfully won on. We're not falling for believing this question is answerable again. In our case, the judge was clear that only LBRY Inc broke the law, and only because it kept a significant pre-mine of the LBRY token. Plus, there was the Ripple decision, and you add those factors together, then sentence redacted by legal team. Will LBRY Inc be continuing to appeal? No, so they're not going to appeal. It's done. It's dusted. Boom, the assets, including Odysee, belong to the SEC and other creditors. So they've got a Discord if you want to join that and discuss what happens to LBRY.com, GitHub and other assets. LBRY.com domain, LBRY social media handles, GitHub and all other assets are to be used to satisfy debts. We recommend trusting Jack Robinson, who's one of the developers on the code, on any issues or debates of LBRY code authenticity, as this channel itself is technically an asset of LBRY Inc. So long, our online freedom is increasingly threatened and it's simultaneously become increasingly necessary. We're proud to have played a role in the effort to keep the internet free, but also remorseful to have everything play out as it did. Even harder than dealing with the federal government is the idea that we would have let people down who had faith in us. To creators, users and investors in that order, thank you for putting your confidence in us. We won't apologise to the government, but we're grateful and apologetic to you. Bye. Thank you very much. A hearty salute to the LBRY Inc. Team for not only founding this great alternative platform. I love Odysee. I still do. I still watch. I use Odysee. I don't use the LBRY app here. I use Odysee almost on a daily basis to watch content. I still do. So hopefully it still keeps going. Hopefully some benefactor can come in and buy LBRY, because what a they have to try and sell the assets, which includes Odysee, which is the biggest asset, really. So yeah, hopefully someone comes along that has the money to buy it, and maybe we can get it real cheap. I don't know. Maybe we can do a crowdfunder. Or if we can get a price estimation on how much Odysee is going for, we can get a crowdfunder going. That'd be awesome. Anyway, thank you very much to the LBRY team. It's not over yet. Odysee still works. Please still continue to do it. My content will still be uploaded there. You can still watch it. Still got 71,000 subscribers and an active comment community over there as well. So feel free to still watch me and all the other electronics, space and engineering YouTube creators over on Odysee, because it's a great platform. It's a great alternative to YouTube. So I guess that's it for LBRY Inc. But hey, it's open source. Go for it. And Odysee is just a company that has an interface, and they've got their own servers storing data and stuff like that, but all the content's still on that LBC blockchain, that LBRY blockchain, and technically anyone could, even if they don't buy Odysee, as I said, they can just start it up almost from the ashes, and boom, the content can still be there, as long as they can get the seeding data, you know, the actual raw video files, which Odysee's still there, so you can download them all. So anyone can simply copy Odysee and keep going. That's the magic of open source. That's the magic of the open source blockchain and everything else. It's all still there. It's all still functional. Even the Securities and Exchange Commission couldn't kill it. They killed LBRY Inc, the company, but they did not kill the open source spirit. So there you go. That's it. It's been a good fight. Catch you next time.